Hello guys, I hope you're safe. Welcome again to our pet online class. Remember, this class will be available from Monday to Wednesday. This is our fourth class. So the first thing we have is our index. We are checking our homework first. Then for the introduction, we have a surprise for you. After that, we're going to do our classwork, so prepare your student book. And at the end, we're going to explain you your homework. So guys, let's start to work.
Hello everyone, Teacher Qual here to check your homework. The homework you obviously did because you have 1 week to do it. Well, it's workbook page 92. Okay. Grammar, reported speech. 1. Listen and complete the sentences. 1. She said she enjoyed the play. 2. Dori complained she hadn't had enough to eat. 3. Diego replied that he liked my suggestion. 4. We agreed to meet at Lee's place. 5. I reminded Claire about our 10 o'clock meeting. 6. He asked me to come outside to see the beautiful sunset. Exercise 2. Choose the sentence that means the same as the first. 1. She said she needed a rest before we went to the concert. A. I have rested before we got to the concert. B. I needed a rest before we got to the concert. It's letter B. I need. 2. I offered to sing at the concert that day. A. I'm available to sing at the concert today. B. I'll sing at the concert next day. It's letter A. Remember guys that today and that day they are like the same, one in direct speech and one in reported speech. Okay, number 3. I told him he could stay up late to see the fireworks the next day. A. You will stay up late to see the fireworks the previous day. B. You can stay up late to see the fireworks tomorrow. It's letter B. The same as the last one. The next day is tomorrow. 4. We said you wanted to stay up for another half an hour. A. I've been waiting to stay up for half an hour before. Or B. I want to stay up for another half an hour. It's letter B. 5. He claimed he hadn't seen the car on the corner. A. I didn't see the car on the corner. B. I won't see the car on the corner. It's A. That's pretty easy. 6. She said she finished the essay. A. I will finish the essay. B. I finished the essay. It's letter B. Wow, that is letter A. She asked if you could get a pet rabbit. Can I get a pet rabbit? 8. He explained that Camila will be flying in from Bogota the next day. A. Yesterday Camila flew in from Bogota. B. Camila will be flying in from Bogota tomorrow. It's B. Okay. Exercise 3. Complete the chart with these words. You may use some of them more than once. Then complete the example sentences using reported speech. Yeah, the first one. In direct speech blank, it is simple present because it is simple past in reported speech. In the example, I speak French. It is in direct speech. In the reported speech, it is she said that she spoke French. Next one. In direct speech, it is present continuous, and reported should be past continuous. Next one. Direct speech, simple past, and reported should be past perfect. And the example in direct is I spoke French, and in reported speech, she said that she had spoken French. And next one, in reported speech it is past perfect, it should be in direct speech present perfect. The example in direct is I have spoken French, and in reported speech she said that she had spoken French. Next is will and won't in direct. It transforms to would and wouldn't in reported speech. And the example, I'll speak French, in reported speech she said that she would speak French. Okay, last one. In reported speech the form is could and couldn't. It is can and can't in direct speech. And the example, I can't speak French in direct speech. And reported should be she said that she couldn't speak French. Okay, next exercise. 4. Complete the chart with these words. In direct speech, number 1. It's blank. So in reported speech is the next day. It should be tomorrow. 2. In reported speech, their book. And direct speech is our book. 3. In reported speech, the day before. Direct speech, yesterday. Okay. 4. Indirect speech is now. Reported, then. 5. Direct speech, we. Reported speech, they. 6. Today, in direct speech, that day, in reported speech. 7. Direct speech is this book, and in reported speech is that book. 8. Indirect speech is here, reported speech there. This you have to be very careful, especially with the tomorrow and the next day. It is easy to get confused, and yesterday, the day before. So be careful. Okay. Exercise 5. Find and correct the mistakes in the words involved. One sentence is correct. 1. She asked if I got to meet the president. Here, the incorrect is the question mark. It should be gone. 2. I saw Chow a couple days ago. She complained that her car had broke down yesterday. So instead of yesterday is the day before. That's what I told in the last exercise to be careful with. 3. As we were finishing the meeting, I added that I thought we needed to do more research. So that one is correct. 4. My little brother admitted to he lost his pet lizard. Here we erase the 2. That is not there. So my little brother admitted he lost his pet lizard. But we also have another answer. It's that changing the 2 from that. My little brother admitted that he lost his pet lizard. Okay, 5. Ask Bridget if I could turn off the TV. It's just like in wrong order. Bridget asked. Okay, 6. He said Sarah he'd like to play tennis with them. Here the mistake is said. It should be told. He told Sarah he'd like to play. Here you can have another correct answer. That it is erasing Sarah. He said he'd like to play tennis with them. Remember, if you have, like, since we have Sarah here, we use told instead of said. If we didn't have Sarah, we use said. Sorry. 6. Choose the correct options to complete the sentences. 1. Elia, should I type the note or write it out? Elia asked if she should type the note or write it out. It's she. 2. My sister. We should move to a bigger apartment. Me. A bigger apartment might be too expensive. My sister suggested move to a bigger apartment. It is moving. I replied that. Replied 2, a bigger apartment might be too expensive. Replied that. 3. Oleg. Sure, I can help you make dinner. Oleg agreed to help, would agree to help us make dinner. Agreed to help. 4. Me. I could go shopping with you tomorrow, Mom. I offered to go shopping with my mom tomorrow, the next day. It's the next day. Remember, tomorrow is next day. 5. Kara. Why don't you join us at the movies? She invited me to join them and the movies. It's me to join. 6. My dad. I'll pay you back next week. He promised to pay me back the following week. That is promised to. 7. Moira. When I was in high school, I played lacrosse. Moira said that she played lacrosse in high school. That she played. 8. My sister. Amal still hasn't replied to my email. She complained that Amal still hadn't replied to her email. Hadn't replied. Okay. Exercise 7. Complete the sentences on reported speech using the verbs in parentheses. One. My sister. I'm going to jump over that chair. We say, my sister said she was going to jump over that chair. 2. Me to my brother. Have you fed the dog yet? We ask. I asked him if he fed the dog. 3. My aunt. Ayla, did you go to the movies on Friday? We ask. My aunt asked her if she went to the movies on Friday. 4. Mr. Vasquez. I'll text Jen to ask her if she left the bag in class. With promise. Mr. Vasquez promised he would text Jen to ask her if she had left her bag in class. 5. My uncle to me. I have tickets to the game on Saturday, so I can go to the play with you. With explain. My uncle explained that he had tickets to the game on Saturday, so he couldn't go to the play with me. 6. Me to my brother. Do you have any homework to do this afternoon? We ask. I asked him if he had any homework to do. 7. Me to my sister. I'll take you to the mall after your band rehearsal. Offer. I offer to take her to the mall after her band rehearsal. If you don't know what is a rehearsal, it is like an essay. So it will be a band essay or like a band practice. Well, number 8. My friends to me. Do you want to go sailing at the lake on Saturday? We invite.
Next one.
My friends invited me to go at the lake.
Concentrated stress.
Remember that the same sentence can have different meanings depending on which words are stressed. 8. Listen to the sentences. Underline the words that the speaker stresses, then practice saying the sentences and think about the difference in meaning. 1. Paul agreed that we all connect on social media before we meet in person. 2. Paul argued that we all connect on social media before we meet in person. 3. Paul argued that we all connect on social media before we meet in person. 4. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? 5. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? 6. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? Okay. The next one. Listen again and choose the options that is most likely to follow each sentence. 1. Paul argued that we all connect on the social media before we meet in person. A. Not just some of us. B. We didn't want to wait until after. C. It wasn't Susan who recommended it. And it is before, so there will be. He didn't want to wait. Number 2. Paul argued that we all connect on social media before we meet in person. A. Not just some of us. B. That way we could come together as a group. C. It wasn't Susan who recommended it. The stress word is Paul, so it's C. 3. Paul argued that we all connect on social media before we meet in person. The stress word is social media. A. We didn't want to wait until after. B. Not just some of us. C. That way we could come together as a group. It is C. 4. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? It is C. They were so embarrassing. It's talking about the photos. 5. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? It is A, because it's talking about Sarah. It's the stressed word. And finally, 6. Can you believe Sarah shared those photos of me on her blog? It is letter B. That's the worst possible place. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. I hope you actually did your homework and not only come to check the answers. You have 1 week. Well, that's it for today. Remember to stay at home. Don't go out unless the situation is needed. Well, goodbye.
Now for our introduction. We have a surprise for you, you know it, right? But guys, think please about something you like to do in class. And I'm not talking about talking to your friends. You like to play Kahoot? So let's see. We're playing Kahoot today in our introduction. So let's see. The first one says, match the word get photos or get distracted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is get distracted. I know, guys, both can be possible, but right now we're practicing our Unit 8 vocabulary, right? So the correct answer is get distracted. Next one. Pay attention or connections. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pay attention, exactly. I hope you're paying attention to the video. Next one. Interpersonal skills or photos? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Interpersonal skills. That's right. Remember, when you are good at talking to others, you have interpersonal skills. Now let's continue playing Kahoot, guys, but you are going to do it by yourselves. It is your turn now. So you are going to go to www.kahoot.it and you are going to enter this game pin. You are going to play there and I hope you have fun, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's continue with our classwork. So please prepare your student's book and we're going to work on page 102 and 103. Remember, we are in unit number 8, letter E. The name of the unit is Hear What You Are Saying. Last class, we were talking about tips. We had a TED Talk and we were talking about tips to have a better conversation with people. Do you remember? Were they useful? So now we're going to listen to 3 conversations in which one person wants a change in their situation. You are going to match the conversation with the speaker who wants, letter A, a second chance to do something, letter B, to get some money back for something they bought, and letter C, to replace something that isn't right. So I'm going to play the audio, you are going to listen, and you are going to answer, guys.
1. Hi, how can I help you?
Oh, hello. This game a couple of weeks ago, but it doesn't work on my PC.
I'm sorry to hear that. Let me see. This is for the PlayStation.
Yes, I know that now, but the guy who helped me told me it worked on a PC.
That's weird. It does say clearly on the box it's for PlayStation.
The thing is, I didn't see the box when I bought it. The other guy got one from the back of the store and put it in the bag.
I see. Yes, that is frustrating. But you opened the box. Unfortunately, we don't normally accept returns if the box has been opened.
Yes, but I didn't notice until I opened it. I was hoping I could return it and get the right game for the PC.
Okay, I don't think I can do anything for you, but I'll check with the manager and see what she thinks.
That would be great.
Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. 2.
Welcome to RailLink Web. To book a train ticket for next day travel, press 1. For other inquiries, please hold the line.
Good morning, RailLink Web. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'm calling about a trip I made yesterday. I wanted to buy my ticket online last week, but I couldn't use my young person's rail card to get a discount. The website told me I had to buy the ticket at the station.
That's right. You have to show your card.
Right, but there was a really long line at the ticket office. I couldn't buy a ticket.
So you paid on the train?
Yes, and it cost me 3 times what I would have paid online. So I'd like to get the money back, please.
I see what you're saying, but there's very little I can do for you. You see, you chose to buy the ticket on the train rather than at the station.
That was because there was only one ticket office open, and I didn't want to miss the train. If the station...
I understand, but the only thing you could do is write an email to customer services.
I think I might do that.
3.
Mr. Lebowski?
Hi, Christina. You wanted to see me. Take a seat.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you about my history exam.
You got a D, didn't you?
Exactly. I didn't understand the comment you wrote on my paper.
Right. Well, it's very simple, really. I'm sorry to say you didn't answer the question.
I thought I did.
I did say that you needed to explain why you think the war started.
It's just that I put so much work into it.
That's a shame. You're normally very good at understanding the task.
I was hoping that you could give me until Friday to do it again.
I'm sorry, Christina. I can't. I would have to do the same for all the other students.
Okay. I knew you'd say that. Thank you anyway.
I'll tell you what. Let me think about it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow, okay?
Great. Thank you.
I'm not promising anything.
No, I know. Thank you anyway.
Let's check, guys. In which conversation the speaker wants a second chance to do something? In conversation number 3. In which one does the speaker wants to get some money back for something they bought? In number 2. And in which one the speaker wants to replace something that isn't right? In number 1, of course. Now, for our next exercise, we're going to check what is being sympathetic. Do you know what is that? Well, being sympathetic means listening to understand how someone feels and being kind if they have a problem. We show sympathy in the words we use and the way we sound. In general, sympathetic intonation goes up and down more than unsympathetic intonation. So guys, when one of your friends tells you a problem, how do you react? Have you heard the intonation of your voice? Well, we're going to listen to two examples. We have the same sentence, but this sentence is pronounced differently. So we're going to listen to it, please. Check the difference.
1.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
2.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Did you notice the difference, guys? The first one was like, I'm really sorry to hear that. Like if the person doesn't care. And the second one was, I'm really sorry to hear that. You could feel the feeling, right? Now we're going to listen to more sentences and you are going to write S if you think it's sympathetic and you are going to write U if you think it's unsympathetic. Remember, sympathetic goes up and goes down. Ready?
1.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me see.
2.
That is frustrating.
3.
Unfortunately, we don't normally accept returns if the box has been opened.
4.
I don't think I can do anything for you, but I'll check with the manager.
5.
I see what you're saying, but there's very little I can do for you.
6.
You could write an email to customer service.
Let's check our answers now. Number 1. Was number 1 sympathetic or unsympathetic? Sympathetic. Number 2. Unsympathetic. Number 3. Sympathetic. Number 4. Sympathetic too. Number 5. Unsympathetic. And number 6. Unsympathetic. Guys, if you had different answers, I recommend you to go back in this video and to listen the sentences again. It's easy. You are going to notice the difference. Now we're going to go to our next exercise, but before we're going to check some useful language. You have this chart in your book and it has different expressions. The first expressions we have are useful to show understanding. We can say, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, that is frustrating. That's such a shame. Or that's such a pity. What a pity. I see. Now, when you don't think the same, when you want to disagree, remember you have to be polite. So you can say, I hear what you're saying, but, or I see what you're saying, but. We also have, I understand, but. Now, when you want to prepare the listener for bad news, we have these options. You see, the thing is, it's just that, unfortunately, I'm afraid that, I'm sorry to say. Now, guys, we're going to use these expressions. We're going to do a notebook activity. So prepare your notebook, write the title, Notebook Activity, 4th class. Now, we have 4 situations, and you are going to write in your notebook, what would you say? For example, the first situation says, imagine, guys, a friend lost a 1,000-word essay. He turned the computer off before he saved it. What would you say, guys? So you are going to write in your notebook, number 1, and your answer, what you would say. Remember, you have to use the useful language. Number 2, a teammate can't play in the basketball final. because he or she isn't good enough. But you are the team captain. Imagine that you have the opportunity to decide if your friend plays or if he doesn't play. But he's not good and it's a final. So what would you say? Number 3. A teacher failed a classmate in an exam because she saw him using his cell phone. He says he was only turning the sound off, but you know he was texting someone. I think this student was you. I remember you did this in class. Uh-oh. So guys, what would you say? Number 4, you forgot to lock the garage door last night and your sister's motorcycle was stolen. Well, if you don't have a sister, it can be your brother's motorcycle, your dad's motorcycle. You can decide. You have to write what you would say. Now, pause the video and answer in your notebook, please. I hope you're finished, guys. So, have you ever had a problem with a service? Or any problem? Have you ever had a problem buying tickets? Or what about buying clothes? Maybe food? Or with technology? Have you ever had a problem with technology? Please, think about the problem and write it in 20 words in your notebook. Guys, just 20 words. Please, pause the video and do it in your notebook.
Okay, guys, so think about the situation you just wrote about, right? So, what can we do when we are not satisfied with a service? Well, of course, you can write a complaint. Yes, a complaint email. That's what we're gonna see today. In page 152 of your student book, you can see we have a little complaint email, right? Complaint is, of course, when you say something you don't like, right? You say, hey, I didn't like this, or hey, this is bad, this is not what I wanted, right? So, let's read this very briefly. To whom it may concern, I am writing to complain about the poor customer service I received from you recently. Last week, I was given a $10 gift card for Stan Records. So, on April 23, I visited your website and bought an album online. Ordered yada yada. Unfortunately, the website did not accept the code, and consequently, I had to pay with a credit card. Yikes. When I listened to the album, I realized that the wrong tracks had been downloaded. The artist was correct, but it was an old album I already have. I called your helpline, but despite your company's good reputation for customer service, the man I spoke to was not very helpful. He suggested entering the code again, but when I explained that I had already done this, he said that it was company policy to not give new codes. He also suggested I was trying to get a free album, which was very rude. My experience with Stan Records has not been satisfactory so far. That said, I am sure you can correct the situation. I would like a refund for the money I spent on the album and a new code so that I can use my gift card. Also, after my experience with your helpline, I expect an apology for the trouble you caused me. I am attaching copies of the receipt for the old album and of the gift card that didn't work. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely, Park Seoyeon. So, analyzing a little bit of the aspects, we have look at the writing tips on page 151 about beginning and ending of formal letters. As annoyed, as angry as you can be, a complaint email has to be formal. To whom it may concern, it's a formal beginning. And of course, there is formal letters. You don't write to a company saying, hello, how are you? And say goodbye, I love you. No, not really, right? Even less when you're complaining. Then you explain clearly what you are complaining, what's the problem. Use formal linkers to connect your points. We are going to see some linkers in a little bit. State exactly what you want the company to do. So, of course, never complain just to the air. You always want something to be solved, of course. And finally, include any documents or evidence that supports your complaint with your email. And very important, every time you put something in an email, this is just advice for life, every time you put something in an email, you have to say that you're putting it there, right? I am attaching an image, I am attaching a document, I am sending you this, I'm sending you that. Never just put things in an email, okay? So, that being said, let's continue to exercise 5. Read the email on page 152 and answer the questions. So, we already read it, so please pause here and answer in your book these 4 questions. Alright, so let's check them together. Number 1, what did Park Seo-yeon want to buy? An album, of course, a music album. 2, what problem did she have paying for it? What other problem was there with the product? Of course, the problem was that the website didn't accept the gift card code, and the album was the incorrect one. 3, was her phone call to the company successful? No. Why? They thought he was lying to get a free album, so it wasn't successful. And finally, 4. What 3 things does she want the company to do? 3 things she wants them to do. She wants a refund. That means that she wants her money back. A new gift card code. And, of course, an apology for being so rude. Let's continue to the next exercise. Exercise 6. Look at the useful language box. Before continuing, that's what we're going to do. We have useful language linkers. These are linkers very useful, not just for these letters, but for your life and essays. In everything that you do, you should be aware of using these linkers. Yes, linkers, instead of just saying and, because, and other things, you can use a variety of things. And as you can see, we have 3 different kinds for 3 different functions. We have expressing contrast. That means that you're going to say one thing and the next idea is going to be different. Expressing result. That means because one thing happens, another thing has the consequence, right? And finally, expressing addition. You're going to say one thing and another thing, right? Most popular is and, but we have many others. In expressing contrast, we have in spite of, even though, while, however, even so. Expressing result, as a result, because of this, therefore. Expressing addition, in addition, also, moreover, and furthermore. We have more in letter A. Although, consequently, despite, nevertheless, what is more? Let's match these to the category that they belong to. Please take your time to answer. Okay, so let's check. Although is expressing contrast. Although you have a lot of money, you cannot go to spend it in a restaurant, have to stay inside. Consequently is number 2. Because we are in a contingency, we are in a contingency, consequently you cannot go out. Yes, the result, one thing is the other. Despite is number 1. Despite us being healthy, you still shouldn't go out, right? Nevertheless is another one for contrast. We have been careful, nevertheless, we have to continue being the same way. Yes. And finally, what is more? That is for addition. Yes. You have to wash your hands. What is more? You have to wear a mouth cover. I don't know. I'm just choosing examples of what I think right now. Sorry. So let's continue to letter B. Complete these sentences in a way that makes sense. These are free for you of your own freedom. Please answer them in your book. Yes. Let me read them and I don't know, give you some ideas. Number 1, I had to wait to be served for 20 minutes. As a result, so what happened because you waited so long? I don't know, maybe you were hungry, maybe you were angry. Something happened as a result of that wait. Number 2, in my experience, customer service in your store is usually good. However, there is a contrast. So the customer service is usually good, but a contrast, a different idea. What is an idea that you can use to contrast this? I don't know. You say, this time it was bad, or I was left unsatisfied, or I think you were rude. I don't know. You put your own example. Please answer in your book. Number 3, the phone was not the right color. Also, addition, something else that was wrong. What happened to the phone? It wasn't the right color. And also, what happened? Please complete it. 4, even though the menu didn't look very exciting. Now this is even though, it's a contrast, but this is like the opposite. We have a negative sentence, the menu didn't look very exciting, and we are putting something else in contrast. In contrast to something bad, you have to say something good. So, even though the menu didn't look very exciting, you can say the food tasted really good, or it was very cheap. I don't know, something good in contrast. And number 5, it took us over an hour to buy tickets in spite of this. So it was a long wait, but what is something that contrasts this wait? Hopefully you have already answered this while I was explaining. And let's move on to exercise 7. Put the features of a complaint email or letter in the order that they appear in Park's email. Now, this is going to be very important for your first online homework. Yes, you heard that right. You're going to have online homework. Oh no. So, very important. Please, if you need to read it again and try to put these parts in order. We have A, a clear demand for a solution. B, a description of what happened. C, a formal closing. D, a formal opening. E, details of any attachments. And F, reason for writing. As you can see, a formal opening is number 1 because that's the first thing we have, to whom it may concern, right? So I'll give you a little time and please answer this in your book. Alright, let's keep on checking. What is next? The first is the formal opening. Next, I'm writing to complain about blah blah blah. That is the reason of writing. Number 2, letter F. Next, we have a description of what happened, which is 2 paragraphs. The main body of the letter is what happened, what went wrong here, what's the problem, what's the matter. Of course, then, you continue with number 4, a clear demand for a solution. You know, what do I want? I would like a refund. Then, number 5 is details of any attachments. You say, hey, I put this in, I'm attaching an image, I'm attaching a conversation, I'm attaching this, that, those. And finally, of course, I look forward to hearing from you soon. It's the formal closing, right? Remember, this is a formal email, okay? Now, please keep in mind this order, this opening, reason for writing, description of what happened, demand for a solution, details of attachment, and formal closing as the structure for your complaint email. You have to fill those steps to make a complaint email, okay? So, with that, we can move on to your homework.
Now, guys, we're going to explain you your homework. This time, we have 2 homeworks. We have writing and we have workbook. Workbook, 2 pages, of course. But it's easy peasy, so don't worry. For our writing, guys, you are going to write a complaint letter. Some minutes ago, Teacher Nereyda explained you about these letters, so no excuses. What are you going to do? Well, you are going to think about the problem you have had. Remember, we have this problem in the notebook. And you are going to write your complaint letter following the outline. You are going to give the reasons for your complaint. You are going to decide what you think the company should do. Underline any expressions from Park's email that you can use in your letter. So if you use expressions from Park's email, underline them in yellow, please. Make sure you include all the features in activity 7. So go back because you have to follow the structure, please. And the last one, use connectors from activity 6 to help you organize your writing. If you use connectors, use blue to highlight them. Please, guys, you are going to do this writing in Word, so you can highlight the letters or the phrases you want with different colors. You are going to do it in Word, and you are going to upload it to Google Classroom. So if you aren't in Google Classroom, you have to get into the group with this code. As in the last homeworks, guys, you have 1 week to do it. Yes? Today is Monday. So you have till Sunday night to do this homework. You are going to do the writing and the workbook before Sunday night. Any question about this? If you have questions about this, when you enter to the classroom, to the Google Classroom group, you can write them there. Now, here we go. Let's explain you the next homework. It is all for my part, guys. I hope you are safe. Continue in the video because someone is going to explain your homework. So here we go.
Hello guys, as you can hear, it's me, Teacher Edgar, and I'm going to explain your homework. Okay, in exercise number 1, you have to listen and choose the option to begin the conversation. You're not going to have problems because the audio is very clear and there are only 2 options. Now, in exercise number 2, you have to underline where the intonation goes up and down. But listen, you only have to underline the specific letters, not the word. The specific letters when the intonation goes up and down. And now I'm gonna play the audio.
I wonder, can you help me? Yes. Well, I just went outside to answer a phone call, and when I came back, my laptop was missing. Could anyone have moved it? Well, I don't think so, but I'll check with the other staff. Thanks.
Hi, Tom. Working hard? Oh, what's wrong?
My laptop's missing.
Oh, I see.
Excuse me. I'm afraid that no one's seen your laptop.
Then where is it?
I'm sorry to say it looks like someone's taken it. What? My work.
Oh, Tom, that's awful.
Haven't you got CCTV or something? Unfortunately, our system is being upgraded and the cameras aren't recording. So you can't check?
That is frustrating. A security system that doesn't work?
I hear what you're saying, but we do say that the library can't be responsible for personal items. But it's got all my work on it. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have a backup? Well, I did. It's just that the Wi-Fi isn't working, and I've been here all day.
That's such a shame.
Yes, you see, the thing is, the whole computer system's being updated, including the network.
I understand, but that's not the point. I do think you should take some responsibility for this.
Okay, let's call the police and see what they advise.
In exercise number 3. You have to complete the conversation first with your own words, underline, and then you listen and compare your answers with the audio. Okay, let's play the audio.
I've had a very bad week. I had an accident on my bike on Monday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Were you hurt?
I'm okay, but unfortunately I hit a car.
Oh no. So what about your bike? And the car?
Well, my front wheel was broken, but the worst thing was the car. I damaged the door and scratched the paint.
Oh no. Bad luck.
The driver told me he was glad I wasn't injured, but that I would have to pay to repair the damage. So I have to work extra hours during the holidays to pay my parents back.
What a shame. So you won't have much free time then?
No, and that's not the only thing. I'm afraid I'm not going to finish my history homework on time.
What? No. That's frustrating. How come?
I didn't start it early enough. I've been working hard on it this week, but last night I was so tired that I just fell asleep at my desk and woke up in the morning.
Oh, I see. Maybe you should ask for more time.
Now, in exercise number 4, you have to read the scenarios and write in your notebook or your book your opinion about these situations. And then you listen and compare your ideas. Okay, let's play the audio.
A. Hello, sir. How can I help?
Hi. I bought these last week and the right headphone's broken. It makes a strange buzzing noise and then stops working.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that. And do you have the receipt?
You see, the thing is, I've lost it.
Well, I'm afraid that I can't give you a refund without proof of purchase.
But I only bought them last week. Can't you do something?
I'm sorry to say that's the company policy. How did you pay? Maybe it's on your bank statement?
No, I paid cash.
Oh, that is frustrating. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do.
Right, okay. Can I speak to the manager then?
B. Excuse me.
Yes?
You see, the thing is, this isn't what I ordered. I wanted the chocolate cake, and we've been waiting forever.
I see. Let me check this for you.
It's just that we've been waiting for over half an hour, and you've brought the wrong thing. And my friend is still waiting for her sandwich.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm afraid I only have an order of cake and a coffee for this table. That's all.
The order must be wrong then. I really like the food here, but the service is terrible sometimes.
Unfortunately, we're very busy today. I do apologize for the mistake.
I understand, but this isn't the first time. Last week, I waited 20 minutes for a cup of coffee.
We're sorry you've had this experience. I'll get your order sorted out immediately.
C. Hi, Lola. It's Asami. Hi, Asami. How was your trip? All ready for tomorrow? Listen, the thing is, I'm not going to be back to give our presentation tomorrow. Oh, no. How come? Well, I'm at the airport. It's just that they've canceled my flight, and the next one isn't until tomorrow morning. I see. But we need you here. I understand, but I've asked about an earlier flight, and they're all fully booked, so I won't be back until tomorrow evening. Unfortunately, I think you'll have to give the presentation without me. Oh, no. Can't we delay it? I don't think the teacher would be happy about that. No, you're right there. So, I'm going to email you all my notes, and you should be able to do it with Eva and Carlos. Okay, but what a shame. I know. I'll send you everything now. Okay, see you when you're back. Bye, Dan.
Well, in exercise number 5, you have to identify if the phrases involved are expressing contrast, result, or addition. Exercise number 6 says, label the parts of the complaint email. I think this is the hardest, so I'm gonna help you with 2 answers. Number 3 is background to the problem, and number 5 is how she feels. And finally, exercise number 7. Read the passage and then listen to the lecture. Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they oppose specific points made in the reading passage. This exercise is not difficult, but you have to understand both parts. Now let's play the audio.
There is an interesting problem with the stereotypical notion that British people don't like to complain. Let me ask you this. Have you ever spoken to someone from the UK about the weather? Complaining about the weather is practically a national sport in Britain. But that's the problem with stereotypes, isn't it? One story is not the only story. Would you be surprised to learn that a recent survey showed that British people are more likely to complain than Americans? Well, when there is a reason to complain, statistics for a 1-year period showed that 61% of UK consumers are likely to do so, versus 50% of US consumers. 61% to 50%. Pretty amazing. Firstly, the British complain a lot about service. According to one UK study, one of the most common causes of daily frustration and anger is poor customer service. Rather astonishingly, this ranked higher than worries about work or money, or even family. So, we move from the picture of someone too embarrassed or polite to make any kind of complaint, to the reality of a huge number of formal complaints. Secondly, the internet has given British people more confidence to complain. It has helped them to expect a satisfactory solution. As almost all businesses now have an online presence, and with so many goods and services now purchased online, British people are used to making formal complaints online. In the past, an unhappy customer had to make a difficult phone call or send a formal letter of complaint in the mail and wait weeks or months to get a reply. Nowadays, we can instantly email a complaint to a customer service desk. And when the follow-up is unsatisfactory, we can take our complaint to social media. As companies rely on maintaining a good reputation and keeping their customers satisfied, they generally react quickly to deal with any negative publicity. Finally, based on new surveys, it turns out that the British are experts at complaining. They know what to say and how to say it in order to get the results they want. So, it seems that methods of communication have improved Britain's relationship with complaining.
Okay guys, this is your homework. I hope you are okay and see you soon. Bye.